Today we will discuss about the submandibular gland. Submandibular gland is the one of the three pair of the salivary gland. There are three salivary glands. This is a parotid gland. It is the largest serous salivary gland. It is lies on the side of the neck and in front of the ear, between the angle of the mandible and the ear. It is a parotid gland. This is a second gland. It is a submandibular gland, and the third gland, it is inside the floor of the mouth. It is a sublingual gland. It is a smaller gland. So today we will discuss about the submandibular gland. It is a large salivary gland about the size of the walnut, situated partly below and partly deep to the posterior half of the mandible. So partly below to the mylohyoid line and behind to the body of the mandible, this area it is a situation of the submandibular gland. It is the nearly half size of the parotid gland. It is a 10 to 20 grams of the weight. It is a mixed type of the gland. Prominently it is a serous, but it is also a mucous gland. It consists of two parts, large superficial part and deep small part. Superficial part superficial to the mylohyoid muscle. Here you can see this is the mylohyoid muscles, and the deep part which is indent on the posterior border of the mylohyoid, and this is the deep part of the submandibular gland. It is the very small part. It is the deep part. So deep to the mylohyoid, it is the deep part of the submandibular, and larger part, it is the superficial part of the submandibular gland. Now we will discuss about the superficial part. This part have a large and filled with the anterior part of the digastric triangle, extend upward up to the mylohyoid line. It has a two end, anterior end and the posterior end. It has a three surface. This is the lateral surface, and here there is a inferior surface, and on the just medially there is a medial surface. So three surface, anterior end up to the anterior belly of the digastric, which extend up to the anterior belly of the digastric. So it is the anterior end. Posterior end, which is extend up to the stylomandibular ligament. Here you can see this is a stylomandibular ligament. This is a this is the posterior belly of digastric. This is a stylohyoid, and I will show you the this is the ligament. It is called the stylohyoid ligament. So here there is a stylohyoid ligament. This portion, it is called the stylohyoid ligaments. So posteriorly it extends up to the stylohyoid ligaments, and there is a investing layer of deep cervical fascia which is split at the inferior level, and it deep layer which is attached to the investing layer of it is attached to the mylohyoid line. Deep layer which is attached to the mylohyoid line, and superficial layer which is attached to the inferior border of the mandible, base of the mandibles. This is the investing layer of deep cervical fascia which is at the inferior level. It's split, and superficial lamina which is attached to the base of the inferior border of the mandible, and deep lamina which is attached to the inner side of the mylohyoid line. So it encloses the submandibular gland. Superficial surface, or it is called the inferior surface. It is related with the skin, superficial fascia, investing layer of deep cervical fascia, as well as it is related with the facial vein. I will show you, this is a facial vein. So it is related with the facial vein and submandibular lymph node. So these are the relation of the inferior surface. The lateral surface, this is called the lateral surface of the submandibular gland. This is called the inferior surface, and this is the lateral surface. It is inside the submandibular fossa on the inner aspect of the mandible. So it is lies inner aspect of the mandibles. I will put this mandible here. It is lies inside the inner side of the mandibles. So lateral surface, it is lies inside the submandibular fossa, and there is a medial pterygoid muscles. I will show you, this is the medial pterygoid muscles. Here we have removed the body of the mandible, and there is a facial artery. This is a facial artery. So lateral surface, particularly it related with the mandibular fossa, facial artery, and there is a medial pterygoid muscles. So this is about to the relations of the lateral surface. Now we discuss about the relation of the medial surface. Medial surface of the submandibular gland, which is divided into the three parts. Anterior part, which is related with the myloid muscle. Here you can see this is the myloid muscles, as well as submental artery. This is a submental artery branch of the facial nerve, and we have got here there is a it was during the dissection, it was broken, the branches coming from the inferior, it is the nerve to mylohyoid. So nerve to mylohyoid, so anterior part of the submandibular gland, which is related with the mylohyoid muscles. This is the mylohyoid muscles, mylohyoid nerve. Here you can see this is the mylohyoid nerve, and there is a submental artery. This is a submental artery. It is a branch of the facial artery. The middle part of the medial surface, which is related with the, here you can see deep to the, this is the hyoglossus muscles. Posteriorly and superiorly it is related with the styloglossus muscles. I will show you the styloglossus. You can see this is the styloglossus muscles, and there is a lingual. This is the lingual nerve. Lingual nerve, and this is the hypoglossal nerve. Lingual and hypoglossal nerve, and there is a submandibular ganglion. I will show you. This is the, here from the inner side you can see this is a lingual nerve, and it makes the submandibular ganglion here. So submandibular ganglion, mostly it is below related with the deep part of the gland, and there is a mylohyoid muscles. It is between the deep part and mylohyoid muscles. So this is the deep part and this is a mylohyoid. In between there is a submandibular ganglion. The posterior part of the submandibular gland, medial surface, which is related with the styloglossus. Here you can see this is a styloglossus, and stylohyoid ligament. This is a stylohyoid ligament. Here you can see this is the stylohyoid ligament. Stylohyoid ligament, and there is a glossopharyngeal nerve. This is a glossopharyngeal nerve, and there is a stylopharyngeus also. It is related, and the wall of the pharynx. So the these are the relations of the medial surface, and it divides into the three part: anterior, middle, and posterior part. So you have to remember the relations of the medial surface. It is mainly you have to remember there is a mylohyoid muscles, submental branch of the facial artery. I will show you again. This is a mylohyoid, submental branch of the facial artery, and there is a nerve to mylohyoid. This is the nerve to mylohyoid. This is the inferior nerve, and there is a hyoglossus muscles. This is the hyoglossus muscles. This is the hyoglossus. Posterior-superiorly there is a styloglossus. This is a hypoglossal nerve. This one is the hypoglossal nerve, and this one is a, here there is a lingual nerve. I will show you the lingual nerve. This is the lingual nerve. You can see this is the lingual nerve, and submandibular ganglion. This is a submandibular ganglion, the fiber of the submandibular ganglion. So, and there is a posteriorly it is related with the glossopharyngeal nerve, stylohyoid ligament, stylopharyngeus, and styloglossus muscles. So medial surface which is related with this structure, and deep part it is very small, and it is mainly related with the medially with the hyoglossus. This is the hyoglossus, laterally by the mylohyoid muscles, deep part which is laterally by the mylohyoid muscles. superiorly by the lingual nerve. This is the lingual nerve, and inferiorly it is related with the nerve. It is the hypoglossal nerve. This is the hypoglossal nerve. Inferiorly it is related with the hypoglossal nerve. So the deep part inferiorly related with the hypoglossals, superiorly by the lingual nerve, laterally by the myloid muscles, and medially it is related with the hyoglossus muscles. So this is about to the submandibular gland. I will show you the duct. It is called the Warthen ducts. The deep part, anteriorly there is a extension of the submandibular gland. This is the lingual nerve, and below to it there is a duct. It is called the Warthen ducts. It goes anteriorly, and it goes anteriorly and near to the anterior border of the hyoglossus muscles. It crosses the lingual nerve. Here it crosses the lingual nerve and continues between the sublingual gland and genioglossus muscles, and it opens into the oral cavity at the summit of the sublingual papilla at the side of the frenulum of the tongue. So this is the submandibular duct, and this is a lingual nerve. You have to remember it is called the Warthen ducts also. Blood supply of this gland mainly branches coming from the adjoining. It is the sublingual and submental artery, and the venous drainage, it is the common facial and lingual veins. Lymphatics by the submandibular lymph node, and jugulo-digastric lymph node. This is a jugulo-digastric lymph nodes. So it is a lymphatic drainage. The nerve supply by the parasympathetic and sympathetic nerve supply, I will show you inside the diagram. The parasympathetic, which is coming from the superior salivary nucleus, with the fiber with the facial nerve, and this facial nerve gives the branch. It is called the chorda tympani, and this chorda tympani nerve, which is united with the lingual nerve, and the fiber along with the lingual nerve, it is related inside the submandibular ganglion, and the postganglionic fiber, it is directly supplies to the submandibular as well as sublingual gland. It is a parasympathetic pathway, while the sympathetic pathway, the fibers coming from the T1 segment of the spinal cord, which goes ascend upwards, and it is relay inside the superior cervical sympathetic ganglion, and the postganglionic fiber along with the facial artery, and it is without relay inside the ganglion, and it supplies to the submandibular gland. Here I will show you the this is the posterior belly of digastric. This is the styloid. I will reflect it, and I will show you the superior cervical ganglion. This is the interjugular vein. This one is the vagus nerve. This one is the vagus nerve. No. This is the interjugular vein. This is the external carotid artery, and this is the hypoglossal nerve, and this one is the vagus nerve. This is the vagus nerve, and just deep to this this is the superior cervical ganglion. This is the superior cervical ganglion, and the fiber, this is a sympathetic fiber which is received from the T1 segment, and it is relay inside the superior cervical ganglion, and the postganglionic fiber along with the facial artery without relay inside the submandibular ganglion, it supplies to the submandibular gland. And the parasympathetic, we already discussed, it is fiber coming with the lingual nerve, which is carried by the chorda tympani nerve from the facial nerve, and it is relay inside the submandibular ganglion, and postganglionic fiber supplies to the submandibular gland as well as sublingual gland. And the mainly the sensory nerve fiber which is supplied by the lingual nerve. So this is about to the submandibular gland. Applied aspect, you have to remember most there is a calculi inside the submandibular gland, which is most common because the duct which is goes down to upside. So and also the secretion is more viscid, and the duct take a tortuous upward course, and it hampers the smooth drainage of the inside the floor of the mouth. So there is a more chances of the calculus inside the submandibular gland as compared to the parotid gland. So always you take the, whenever gives the incision, you prevent the marginal mandibular nerve. So skin incision below to the angle of the mandible to prevent injury to the marginal mandibular nerve. Sometimes there is a enlargement. How to differentiate the submandibular lymph node and submandibular glands? Submandibular lymph node, which is superficial to the glands, and that's why you can palpate it from the outside, while the gland which is palpated from the, to insert the finger from the mouth and from the outside, you can bimanually palpate, and you can palpate the submandibular gland. So the submandibular gland which is palpated bimanually, while the submandibular lymph node enlargement palpated only from the putting the finger on the outsides. So this is about to the submandibular gland. Hope you enjoy the lecture of the submandibular gland. Thank you very much. Visualizations of the gland, the procedure, radiological procedure to visualize the gland, it is called the xylography. If you want to see the parotid gland, submandibular gland, sublingual gland, it is the procedure to see inside the radiography. It is called the xylography. Thank you very much.